All right. So, Mike, at skyinclude.com/bid. So this is more like strategy than tech. Um, Trying to give you some insights, what I've learned over the few months. Started this in October 2020. It's February 2021. Time is flying here when you're having fun. It's honestly, you lose sleep, you wake up in the middle of the night, you put some kind of classes on so you can watch the computer at night, and but I've tried my best to put more information. So I've noticed in our clubhouse calls, we have some mastermind calls about these sessions. Mark Smith at Namesake is giving some. He's an amazing host there with the clubhouse, and I also put up some tutorials about the auction process at skyinclude.com/auction. But this is more bidding strategy. It's not really like technical. It's more like mindset. And I think one that I learned was I hope I'm not calling somebody out, but you honestly, it's on the blockchain, so everything is transparent. After the reveal, forever you can see how others bid. And retreat is a cool one to look at. Just to give you an idea, somebody bought it for 800. But in August, look at this. Okay, 0.5 point. This is take the let. Don't see. You don't normally see the bid and added right. Some 0.5, 0.4, 0.5, 1, 30, 90, 350, 700, 1,100. But look, bid 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0.5, 0.1, 0.5, right? So this person got it for 1, okay? But if you're looking at this in the auction, you're like, man, look at this, 1,100, 735. So this was most likely the same person. I'm pretty sure it was somebody bidding on this himself. All right. And then he sold it for 800. Okay. So just because you see the mask, you don't know if this is a 90. It could be all 90 bid. It could be zero blind. It could be. You don't know, right? You don't know. That's the whole thing about this thing. It's like a mind game. So I'm going to give you a few different strategies to think about. But you got to learn the auction process. I'm not explaining the auction process today. I'm assuming you know how it works, where you pay the second highest bid. So the first one, Mark Smith has said this at Namesake.domains. He's in our clubhouse calls, which I recommend checking out. You can get on our email list at Handshake.Mastermind. But he says he opens his with his full bid at the beginning, and he doesn't check. It's very stressful. So his idea is, I want to pay 1,000 HNS. I bid 1,000 on day 5. It's a 5-day auction, and he forgets about it. If somebody wants to bid 1,001 and bid him out, he says he doesn't let it bother him. So if you want to do that, I've seen others doing that where they open an auction with 5,000 HNS. You don't know that's blind or bid, but it scares other people away, right? Or maybe it is a bid, and this person just says, "I'm willing to pay 5,000." And in today's market, that's a lot. I don't know when you're watching this. I don't know sure where it's gonna go, but in today's market, that's really high. So maybe people don't bid; they just stay away, and you get it for free. But most likely somebody's gonna bid. But if it's all bid, if they bid 50, you'll just pay 50, right? But if they bid 5,001, they will win and they'll pay 5,000. So, that's a strategy. I usually don't do that strategy. The other strategy is open low. So maybe you open it for 0.4 because in Namebase you have to open it for at least 0.4. But I recommend just doing it as a zero bid because most likely you're not going to win it for 0.4. So you might as well get back the blind right away after the auction. So I'd say zero bid, 0.4 blind if you're doing it that way in Namebase. So basically it means it's no bid. You're basically just starting it. And then later you wait till the end. I usually recommend waiting till the end. I've also did some tutorials about some tools that can do that. Meanwhile, are a little bit more advanced and technical. But waiting until the end, I think is better personally. Sorry, Mark. I mean, I don't want to show everybody my cards. I play. I'm not good at poker, but you don't really show people your hand at the beginning usually, right? Even though you have your plan, I don't like to show people my bid if I don't have to. Even if it might be masked. I personally don't do it. So usually I do the bid towards the end. So I'd open it for low. And then I just, I stay up. I put my alarm clock on. I wake up, my wife, sometimes by mistake or whatever. But, my strategy is just, I want to come in at the end. I don't call myself a sniper, but I put my bid in. I'm not like just trying to go one over somebody else. I don't really even look at what other people are bidding, but I just want my bid to go towards the end. Because I just don't want somebody to have that extra time to think about it, or transfer H&S from BTC or USD or whatever and put more money into this and bid me out. So I usually don't want to show it right away. It's my own strategy. You gotta be a little bit careful. Sometimes name-based bids don't go through, or sometimes bids don't go through. If there's congestion in the bids. So usually you'd want to do it like a few. It depends on how risky and how important it is to you, but you might want to not put it until some say 20 blocks before, 4 blocks, 6 blocks. But of course that's the risk. That's why if you bid early, it's better. So usually that's why I do. It's option 2, and a lot of people do that. You don't try to snipe yourself. You don't want to not have your bid get mined at bid block 1, 2, 3, maybe bid 4, block 4, block 6. But that's also a strategy. Don't just look at the highest bid that's there and put yours above it. Put your real bid. I think the main point is put your real bid, like how much you really, because you're that's what I do. I've names I've won, I put way over than what the current highest bidder was. But I also wait towards the end to put that. I just don't want to let it sit there for 5 days and let people think about it personally. And then bid strategy 3. Open with a high mask and then do your real bid towards the end. Or do something crazy like this retreat guy. Honestly, I'll say I have done this too. You do multiple blinds and then do your real at the end. That's a risk to do. But let's talk about that. So by doing that, what's going to happen is, you'll scare people. One is you'll scare them away, or 2, you'll make them put bigger bids. So you could almost drive the price higher than you wanted to. You could also be attracting attention, because if you're bidding, and then you're going to be like the most popular thing, and everybody's seeing all these bids, and maybe it gets talked about more. So that's another risk of putting too many bids, even if they're all blinds, because you're attracting other people. You might be inflating the price to yourself, but you might also be keeping other people away because they're just like, oh, that's too expensive for me. I'm not going to even bother. So that's the thought process. It also depends on how popular this name is, how many other people actually want this name. Let's talk about this. I hope I'm giving you some insights here. So the idea here is, like this retreat guy, he did this, he followed us up, on actually a lot on that same day. It seems like a lot on that same day, but sometimes you do it hot earlier to just keep people scared away. You could open it with a high 0 bid or low bid and a high. But you also got to be careful if you bid against yourself. If you do an actual real bid and then later somebody else puts it, I've seen it where I paid my own second highest. The blockchain doesn't care if you were the same bidder. If you're bidding against yourself and then the others are all blinds, you pay your own second highest bid. It's crazy, but you do. It doesn't matter. It's your same account. Okay, so keep that in mind. Just because you're bidding against yourself, you'll pay your own second highest bid. So you can get faked out. Some people are just doing high blinds, and you don't know it's a blind. You do a bid on top of yourself. You'll pay your own second highest. But yeah, I mean, this is one. So you can also learn by just looking at other top auctions. Another thing is look at similar names and how they've been treated in the space. But it's a game, it's a game. So looking, everything's public. So once the reveal happens, it happens. Just to show off, I think some of you know I own Bartender. I got that for free. These were all me. For the record. See, it even shows me. So I opened it for 0 with 0.1 with 1. And then on the 9th, I put a 60. And on the 10th, I put a 130. And on the same day, on the 10th, I was scared. And I put a 500. I was really scared, honestly. I didn't know. Somebody could have bid, 501. Or I could have, but nobody else bid, and I got it for free. Also, you guys know Mercenary. I don't know if anybody's looked this one up. Come on. My computer. I'm doing a lot of videos today. Mercenary. 0. This is me. So don't hate the player, hate the game. Don't hate the player. But I learned that from Retreat, honestly. Retreat wasn't me, and I was looking at that, and Chris Moore, my buddy, sent me that, and I learned from that. So that's why I did these two. But it's blown up in my space. It's blown up in my face because I've also attracted attention, I've lost auctions. I'm not going to show you those. I'm going to show you the ones I won. Who shows the losers? I've lost some. So, and people can tell, right? They can see. You can't bid lower. So if they see it's coming up, 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 it might be the same person. Usually you don't bid lower, right? So I think the game's getting more complicated now. But these are some strategies. But again, don't be a squatter. Don't just build, or at least sell it for a reasonable price, or don't hold people hostage. It's a game. It's a game. But we're all players in this game. But let's try to also create a good, healthy ecosystem where there's people using them. Try to do good in this world. We can choose to do good. We can choose to do evil. I'm at least building on these, okay, and I'm trying to use these. So keep that in mind. I hope with great power comes great responsibility. I'd love to hear some tactics. We also post a lot in our Handshake Mercenary forum, totally free. You can pop on over there, or give comments in our videos. I'd love to know what kind of strategies you have. I'm just giving away free knowledge, free information. So hop on over to our, get the HNS Resolver, please, and sign up and share. Thank you so much. I hope. Come on, scare me here. Sometimes this technology is not scare me here. I think sometimes there's some issue. Oh, brother. I'll leave it in. But we're really early stage, but that's the whole point, where people can be like, oh, how come I didn't know about this earlier? I think it's just the next DNS stop working. It's not the server, it's the resolver. Okay, anyway, I'm gonna leave that in. I'm out of disk space, so I'm stopping this. Take care, everybody. Good luck.